Hey guys, so basically what I'm doing today is showing off the cable management that I ended up being able to do with this computer. If you guys saw the last computer, actually I'll just go ahead and annotate it on the top right here. And basically the cable management sucked when I got it. I don't know if that's normal for most computers, but for a pre-built computer that I personally got online, I figured it was going to be more of a, like, I don't have to do anything to it build, but I ended up doing a lot of cable management, and if you guys want to see that, like I said, there should be an annotation still on the screen. But what we're going to do is, I was going to put 2 new hard drives in, but I couldn't get them to format for some reason, so basically what I'm doing right now is I'm going to install 2 new fans in the top here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's 2 holes here. They're 2 140mm holes. I actually have them in here. Here's what they are. It's just a NZXT, which is actually the fans that are already in it. It's got an orange LED fan. So I guess we can unbox this right now. Let's hang on one second. Alright, so it comes with your 4-pin to a little pin connector, which I have plenty of, and you just, like, I don't know if you guys know anything about fans or not, but you just kind of plug it into this. This one goes into this one. This one here on the floor here plugs into this little piece, and then this one plugs into your power supply over here. Oh. Right here. This one plugs into your power supply, which I have plenty of in the back of the computer because they gave me way too many. And then you have your 4 mounting screws that you need. Alright, so basically what I did was, there was a 140mm already in the top here. But I took it out, put it in the front where the hard drive spaces are, which I'm actually going to flip that around and make it an input. That way there's as much air coming into it as much as possible. So there's going to be 2 fans in the bottom inputting air, and then the H40 outputting air, and then 2 on the top outputting air. So there should be plenty of airflow, I believe, in this beast. So alright, I'm gonna, also there's a 120 fan on the front, and I put it on the bottom here to cool the graphics card, because there's this expansion slot down here too. But, alright, well I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like after I'm done. Also, as you guys can see, it's just a bare bones case now, so I just tore everything off just because, I'm building it. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, now you can see I got them in. The screws themselves were not the easiest things to get in, and I don't know if that was just because of the fact that I was using a screwdriver that wasn't quite as, I guess, what I normally would use, but they're both blowing out, so we're going to go ahead and hook them up, and we'll be right back. As you guys can see, this is the nasty side. Like, this is the side that everything goes to. So I got my work cut out for me to get all this fixed, but most of it's utilized, except for the stuff down in the corner here. That's mostly extra wires, which I wish that I would have got a little bit of a better power supply, because if I would have got a little bit better of a power supply, then I would have been able to actually got rid of those, not utilize those, just take them out. But it's like a plug and play power supply. That would be really nice, but don't have it, so gotta deal with all the extra wires. So I'll show you guys what it looks like after I'm done. Alright, bye. Alright, so basically we got everything situated as good as I can anyway. I mean, I can hold that back and close the case, but I mean, it looks like a big old jumble of wires, pretty much because it is, but there's so many wires that there's really nothing I can really do. I mean, I did literally, like, all this especially, like, there's so much extra wires over here. Like, this is literally, every single one of those are extra wires. So there's really nothing I could do, but all this right here is utilized wires. So hopefully I can get the case shut on this side, and after I do that, I'll power it up and see if it, or I basically see if the fans turn on. If they don't turn on, then I gotta find out what's wrong with those. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I know it's really dark in here, but good thing is the GPU boost light is on. I got it plugged in. All I have is the power supply plugged in right now. But let's go through it and everything. Down here is a fan. Gotta make sure that's working. In the front there's a fan which I switched around. Gotta make sure that's working. The two top fans and the pump and the H40 fans, which I think they run off the same plug-in. I'm not sure. But let's just try to turn it on. Okay, so as you can see, the two top fans are working. Kind of low speed. Wonder if I'm blowing those in or not. I don't know. Front fan's working. It looks like all the fans are working. That's a good thing. Hopefully these LEDs look a little better at night. I don't know if you guys can see them or not. For you guys' perspective, it kind of looks like burning metal, but it's not. It's just an LED. Then it's got the white LED in the front, which is actually what came with it, which I don't understand why it came with a white LED, but it did. And that fan down here is working. There is tons of air moving in here. I think these are actually blowing down, these top ones. So I'm going to need to turn those around, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, and I think this white one was blowing in. There's so much air moving around that I can't really tell. Which I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to turn those around and put the case back on. And we'll do a little bit of like a benchmark test and see if it runs any cooler. But see you guys then. Hey guys, so this is basically a wrap up of the, I don't know, I guess the fan installation on the computer, of this particular computer anyway. The white LED up here in the front you can't really see, which is perfectly fine with me because I don't really care about the white. The orange LEDs, you can kind of see them whenever it's dark, but not so much whenever it's light out. I mean, I wish I don't know if you can get like a side panel for these or not. That's just like a clear see-through panel, which would be amazing. I'd love to see inside the computer at all times. But that's basically what it's at right now. And then you have your cooling fan for the H40. And then, like I said, there's one underneath, which you can still get your hand underneath and everything. So, so there's still a little bit of air coming through the bottom, cooling off that graphics card. And then the top is just blowing air. Like, there's so much air coming out the top right now. And, I mean, I really don't have the fans turned up yet. So, I don't know exactly what it's going to run at whenever I do turn the fans up. But, yeah, I mean, this thing, so far to me, is, let's see, the cores, 25, 30, which they were running about 26 to about 35 under load, under idle, which the highest right now is 29 to 30, somewhere around that range. So that's actually really good. So that's like 3 or 4 degrees lower. Just in cooling, with no like, I don't know, aftermarket anything really, just 2 new cooling fans, in different positions. I mean, that's pretty awesome actually. I mean, it's been running for I don't know, this video has been going about 2 minutes. So it's been running about 2 minutes now. And about 31, 32 is the highest I've seen so far. So that's really good. I'm going to do like a breakdown of the, like when I do a torture test on it, I'm going to do a torture test on the CPU and the GPU. So I don't know if I'm going to do those at the same time or not, but I think I will, just to see what peak temperatures are inside the case. But until then, I'll see you guys. Alright, so for those of you that don't know what the hell this is, it's called Furmark. I don't know if you guys can see that or not yet. It's called Furmark. It's a GPU benchmark testing program. Basically, if you want to overclock your GPU, you kind of use this. We're about, let's see, 5 minutes into this, so about a third of the way through the benchmark, which is, it runs a 15-minute benchmark. And this is stressing the GPU to a 99% load, which you can see over here. It's a 99% usage, 83 degrees right now, which is, you know, it's not super high, but I guess I could go up a little bit, just considering the fact that it's not too bad. Then you go over to the overclocking part of it. I mean, by the way, this is ASUS GPU tweak for the GTX 680. I guess they're a little bit different for each one. But it has your standard overclocks, which right now the GPU boost is up by 27. Voltage is up by 25. Memory clock is up by 692, which that's quite a bit actually. And the fan is running at 64%, which that's not me actually controlling that. It's an auto boost. It basically, as it gets hotter, it makes the fan go a little bit faster. Then the power target's up by 10, but it's not much. And that's what I have it overclocked to, and it's running at about 82 to 83 or so, somewhere around there. So really, I could probably bring that GPU boost up to about 1200, which I think I might. Just because of the simple fact that it's not running super high, like temperature. Like I can run it about 89 or so, and it'd be good. So I think another 10% on that, or 10 marks on that, would be pretty reasonable. And then for the CPU, which I'm using Prime 95 as my CPU stress test, which it's been running a little bit longer, maybe 5 minutes longer. Also on the GPU, right now I'm averaging 50 frames. I had a maximum of 53 and a minimum of 50, so that's pretty good for that. My laptop, for example, runs at 6 frames, so it's kind of a visualization of that. As you can see, it's an Intel iCore 7 3770K. It's overclocked to 3.9, or it's like 3.859. So it's pretty close to 3.9, which I actually underclocked it a little bit compared to what it was. So as you can see, the maximum temperature, well, if you're looking at core temp, has been 81 degrees. So that's actually pretty low for having a stress test go on for about, let's see, it's at probably about 10 minutes now. And for it to be at a maximum of 81, and like the last core there, as you can see, is maximum of 72. That's really good, actually. And then you go over to this one. So I'm basically running these both just to kind of give you a visualization of maybe, if just in case like there's a discrepancy between the two. Like right now, it looks like core temp's running. They're about the same. One of them's a little bit faster than the other. I can't really tell because I'm looking at both. But the overall difference isn't much. You can see the fans and everything. CPU fans running at 4,500 RPM. Auxiliary fan, which I don't have all of them hooked up to a like control modular that will tell me every single fan speed. But also, here's another backup for the GTX 680. Which it is actually at 84 on the other thing now too, so it kind of gives you a visualization of what it's doing as well. It's running at about 65%, which is what the GPU tweak says too. So, and this one here is called a Cupid hardware monitor, which I don't know exactly what I don't know how I got this one, but I guess a lot of people use this as their monitoring system, which is not too bad of a monitoring system whenever you think about it, because I'm guessing this one here, yeah, this is the motherboard temperatures. So the motherboard is, I don't know how to tell the difference. I'm guessing it's running at 28 degrees in a max, minimal of 28, which is crazy because it's probably about 80 degrees in here, so that's like room temperature. So yeah, keep in mind it's like 80 degrees in here, like Fahrenheit, so roughly I'd say 27 degrees Celsius if you guys are a Celsius European people. But we're gonna go ahead and let this GPU tweak go through, and then we'll see if the CPU temperatures actually go down some. If they do after it's done, I might overclock it to like 4.1 again. I had it at like 4.3 and it was running at about 85 at max, or like 89 at max, which I don't really want to run it that high, just because of the simple fact that it just would make it run hotter, and I want this computer to last me a long time, not like 5 years, or actually that's kind of a long time too, but I want this computer to last me a really, really long time. I paid a lot of money for it, so yeah, I'll see you guys. Alright, so the GPU burn-in test is done, and I got a 4,564 points. It's kind of hard to see right now. There it goes, frames in. 50 frames per second average. It was at 1080p, and the only reason it went down to minimum of 43 frames was just because of the fact that I overclocked it back up to 1200. So that was the only reason that it did that, and that's basically that. And also another thing is, in the Prime 95, I'm actually basically maxing out my RAM. Also, so as you can see, everything is pretty much maxed out. There's only like 1.5 gigs left, and the only reason it was that much is because I basically literally running my computer at 100% on everything, GPU, CPU, RAM, everything. So that's the reason that I don't know. This is literally an entire computer stress test. And let's see. Let's look over the temperatures, and it doesn't really look like they're dropping any in terms of the CPU. I thought they would drop a little bit, but seems like they're holding pretty steady there. So, and also the stress test for the CPU, the RAM's still going. So, the GPU actually drops really quickly. I'm just kind of surprised about that. It's down to 50 degrees already. So, I don't know. If you guys want a case management air supply, I don't know what the hell I'm saying, for your computer, and you want something similar to what I have, I mean, this is basically what I have is 240 millimeters on the top, an H40 liquid cooling system, Corsair H40 liquid cooling system for the CPU cooler, and then I have a 120 millimeter fan on the bottom of the case, and a 140 millimeter fan blowing into the case from the hard drive slot, and that's about it. I mean, each fan that I got came with an additional power supply, so if you need extra power supplies for the fans, then they actually come with them. All you have to do is hook it up to a 4DIMM power supply, and it runs out, and just like you normally would for the other cables, which mine actually have, and I actually have an additional slot that I can use, so I didn't have to actually use them. And as you can see, the GPU is already down to 48 degrees, which I expect it to probably stay there for a while. That's normally it runs about 30 or so, but like it says minimum of 27. But with it being the fact that there's a bunch of stuff going on in the case right now, 45, it's still dropping actually, kind of surprised. But I mean, it's pretty much going to stay there for a while, until at least I turn the CPU temperature or CPU temperature. The CPU stress test off, it'll stay about there the rest of the time, which, like I said, it goes down to a minimum of 27, so that's not too bad. And I don't know, if you guys like the video, go ahead and like it. If you want to see it later and you might forget what it is, go ahead and favorite it. So I'll see you guys later.
I just wanna blow up in the limelight, thinking about what my life would then be like. Go to LA, I'm back on the one night, trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight, thinking about what my life would then be like. Go to LA, I'm back on the one night, trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. If you could have the money and the fame, have a couple planes in your name, or popping a champagne, would you buy a big house and a couple of whips, and cash a couple of your chips for a closet of kicks? I'd have every Jordan ever made, so every day I could have a different pair. I wanted to be displayed, I would have my bed 10 times bigger than me, and a Hawaiian punch fountain that's bigger than deeds. I would buy a golf course and a court for all sports, host the Final Four while I'm eating 4-course, romping outdoors, playing polo in a Porsche. And of course it ain't a race when you own every horse. I'd have a guest house for the guys with me, up in Shy City where we sit in sky pretty. I'm just trying to catch a flight and make it in time. You could say I got a fly state of mind.